If you have been following the videos of this Green Shift series, you would know that we first talked about coal slowly backing out of the energy scene and renewable energy taking its place due to global climate change concerns. Then we mentioned the two major challenges in rolling out renewable energy capacities of the order of 50 gigawatts a year for the next several years. These challenges, as we mentioned earlier, are financing and issues relating to grid stability. In the previous video, we discussed at length the financing issues, which brought in the inevitability of new financial structures such as blended finance and so on. In this video, we will dwell upon the other major problem, which is maintaining grid stability, especially when there is a large injection of intermittent variable renewable power. To maintain grid stability, you need to integrate large storage capacities which can take in intermittent or variable power on the input side and send out a steady stream of power on the output side. Electrochemical batteries such as lithium-ion or sodium-ion batteries have their own limitations. So for the moment, let us leave them aside. There are basically two ways of handling huge amounts of storage requirements, and these two are pumped hydro storage and flow batteries. In this video, we will take a close look at pumped hydro storage. And in the next video, we will see what this new animal called flow battery is all about. Now, you might think that large lithium-ion battery systems are coming, so they are getting cheaper. So what's the problem with storage? The problem is electrochemical methods of storage are inherently limited in scope. You can have a lithium-ion battery storage, say of 10 megawatts or 20 megawatts or even 30 or 40 megawatts. But if you want to go beyond that, you have to keep adding modules, each of which would be as big as a 20-foot container. Imagine if you need enough storage capacity married to a 1000 megawatt wind or solar plant, you really need to have hundreds of large containers. That's infeasible. That's where pumped hydro storage enters the picture. Well, a typical pumped hydro storage architecture has an upper reservoir at a certain height and a lower reservoir. Water keeps traveling from the lower reservoir to the upper reservoir and back. When there is electricity available, say off-peak hours, and that needs to be stored, that electricity is used to pump water from the lower reservoir to the upper reservoir. And when you need electricity, you let the water down from the upper reservoir to the lower. And when the water gushes down, it turns a turbine which generates electricity. So this is a closed loop where water flows from lower to the upper and back. Of course, there will be loss of efficiency. That is, if you put in, say, about 1000 kilowatt hours or 1000 units of electricity to pump water, you will get back about 800 kilowatt hours or so. So there will be about 15-20% loss of efficiency, but that is acceptable. Even with that loss of efficiency, the economics work out favorably. There are two main advantages of pumped storage. First, you can build it up as big as you want. To give an example, the renewable energy company Greenco, which is based in Andhra Pradesh, is building a pumped hydro storage system of a capacity of 1680 megawatts at the Pinnapuram village near Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh. The electricity to pump up the water will come from Greenco's 2000 megawatts wind and solar plants. So the entire system is completely green. There is no pollutant. There is no emission of any greenhouse gas, not carbon dioxide, nothing else. Electricity generated during off-peak hours is stored and retrieved back, taken back during peak hours. When this plant becomes operational, which is expected to happen around December of this year, this 2023, it will be the world's biggest pumped hydro storage system. And Greenco is planning to build 3 or 4 more such facilities in the next 3, 5, 6 years. They're planning to spend about $6 billion on this. With their ability to store a large amount of energy, frequent stops, faster ramp up, ramp down, pumped hydro storage systems are ideally suited to address the dynamic supply of demand. And this is the first advantage. The second advantage is cost. Pumped hydro by far is the cheapest method of storing electricity. To illustrate, Greenco has contracted to sell electricity from its Pinapuram plant for 4 rupees 23 paise a kilowatt hour. This is much cheaper than the cost of electricity from new coal power plants. This is one instance where the cost of stored energy is even cheaper than the cost of generated electricity. On the flip side, pumped hydro just cannot be put up anywhere. That's the negative side of this. It needs a topography, a certain type of topography where there is a height difference, an altitude and a depression. So you have to look for a location like that. However, the good news is there are plenty of such sites in India. In fact, some of the discarded mines, they can be used for pumped hydro according to the Central Electricity Authority. So again, there are plenty of sites. Sites is no problem in India. The Central Electricity Authority has estimated that the potential for pumped storage in India is 103 gigawatt. Apart from this, a large number of off-river pumped storage potential is also there, like the Greenco plant, where that means this reservoir does not take any water from any flowing stream. You just have some water and the same water keeps going up and down in a loop. Once in a while you might need to top up, but that's about it. If you take into account such plants, the potential is much bigger than even 103 gigawatts. This is according to the Central Electricity Authority. Right now, India has 8 projects of a total capacity of 4,745 megawatts in operation. 4 projects of a total capacity of 2,780 megawatts are under construction, and 24 projects with a total capacity of 26,630 megawatts have been allotted to various state, to developers, and are under different stages of the development now. The government of India has very recently, only in April 2023, come up with the final guidelines for pumped hydro storage systems in India. Basically, these guidelines leave it to the state governments to allot the projects. The state governments may nominate, may just hand over a project to either a central or state government owned company, that is a central or state public sector company, or may allot the projects after selecting the allottee through a competitive bidding process. It's up to the state government. If the projects are off stream, that is they don't take any water from a river system, then any company may be allowed to put up a project anywhere. Here is the thing. The state government shall not ask for any upfront fee. The guidelines also advise the state governments to consider reimbursing the state GST collected on components of the projects. Electricity duty, cross subsidy charges, these levies will not be made on pumped hydro storage projects. Therefore, now is the moment for pumped hydro projects. There is no reason to believe that these projects will not take off. And many other companies have expressed interest to put up pumped hydro storage projects. To name some of them, there is this JSW Energy, which through its wholly owned subsidiary JSW Neo Energy Limited signed an MOU with the government of Maharashtra for setting up a 960 megawatts pumped hydro storage project near Raigarh in Maharashtra. NTPC has said that it wants to set up 6,600 something, 6,000, 7,000 megawatts of pumped hydro storage projects in Andhra Pradesh. Tata Power, Power Grid Corporation of India, many other companies have expressed their desire to get into pumped hydro storage projects and are still at the nascent stages, but there is a plan to do all these things. When all these projects come up, then they will help to a large extent to meet the challenge of handling the grid stability when large parcels of wind and solar plant come on stream and start injecting variable renewable energy into the grid. In the next video, we will talk about another promising technology for handling grid stability, namely redox flow batteries. For more videos on India's green transition journey, please do subscribe.